What's up everybody, Adrian here back with another video, and there has been some new images of the new Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings TV show that's coming out, and we're gonna look at them and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. But so far, the mass reaction to all of this has been pretty negative. So the new show is going to be called The Power of the Rings. So it's saying here in this article that an actual trailer is going to be shown during the Super Bowl. And the show is going to be set during the second age of Tolkien's fantasy history. Now, I never read the Lord of the Rings books. I'm not even good with the crazy, weird sounding names. But I did see the original trilogy, which I loved. I did see the Hobbit trilogy, which was very underwhelming, and it was kind of hastily put together, and there was a lot of behind the scenes drama. Even though it was Peter Jackson, I guess he didn't have his heart set into it, and it showed in the Hobbit trilogy. And this TV show is gonna be not for the hardcore fans, it says here. It's gonna be for the normies or the people who really know nothing about the Lord of the Rings lore or history or anything really. So for those who wouldn't know a Silmarillion from a Saran, whoever that is, the second age of Middle Earth takes place thousands of years before the events depicted in Lord of the Rings and the novels and films. The events of the new series begin in a time of peace, as characters both familiar and new eventually confront a long-feared re-emergence of evil. It's gonna be in a time of peace, which sounds kind of boring. But I guess they're using that time of calm to introduce all the different characters, because there's literally going to be like 22 new characters and they're going to need time to flush everyone out. But what they also say here is characters both familiar and new, but familiar. So that means they're going to bring back some of the old characters. I really hope they don't pull a CGI Luke like in Star Wars Boba Fett, where in order to get audiences excited and wanting to take a look at the show, especially the older audience who is more associated with the original trilogy and the books, in order for them to get on board, they're gonna get like a young Gandalf, or Frodo's gonna come back CGI'd a little bit younger, or whoever. And if they do that, I just don't want them to depend too much on the old characters if they're afraid that the new characters are not going to be good enough, or their backstories or character development are not going to be as interesting or exciting as the old characters. So it's okay if they bring in the old guys here and there, but I just don't want them to overdo it. But it's mainly going to focus on Galadriel and whoever this actress is, Morfydd Clark. And it's going to be a young Galadriel focusing around her story. I like Galadriel in the original trilogy. Cate Blanchett was freaking hot. But whoever this character is, she's no Cate Blanchett. Let's look at the photos. So this is supposed to be Galadriel, okay? She looks okay. Not much to really get from this photo. Now I'm going to say this again like I've said in many of my videos. I don't care about the character's race or gender as long as the character is written well. If you give me an interesting character with a good backstory and everything makes sense, sky's the limit. But what I don't like is when a character is written specifically based on their race or gender. The best example I can come up with is the TV show CW Batwoman, where they specifically picked a female actress, and even in the show's dialogue, they are always bringing up that she is a woman when she's like, finally, the bat suit can fit a woman. When they do that type of character and they're constantly mentioning their race or their gender, or the only reason they can do something is because of their race and gender, that gets annoying. And this is supposed to be a big budget TV show, and they're hoping that it will succeed. So give me some actors that have some form of screen presence that fit into the world you are trying to build. Don't give me some off the street extras, put them in some cosplay outfits for Halloween, throw them at the screen, and we are expected to be excited about it. So right here, this is supposed to be Galadriel in her armor. What it says in the story is that they're not gonna follow Tolkien's story. They're gonna make up their new story. Or there was like 150 pages that Tolkien wrote that he never got to finish, so they're gonna reinterpret those pages, try to fill in the gaps of what he would have written, which makes me kind of nervous. Now, if they give her a good backstory and make her character plausible and believable in how she acts and what she does, then it could work. But just by looking at her, she looks kind of generic. Now, like I said, if they make her an instant Mary Sue, where she's bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, and she hasn't earned anything, and if her character's constantly putting down people, especially men, and saying how dumb they are and how much better she is, and if she's constantly re-emphasizing that she's a woman and finally women can do everything men can do but better, that's gonna get annoying and people are not gonna watch. So now we have some other characters. This character on the left, if I believe, kind of looks like one of the dwarves from the Hobbit trilogy. If he's not, then my bad. What are you trying to say? All dwarves look alike? Now, he looks kind of interesting. He looks like he fits. However, the person in the middle looks ridiculous. This literally looks like some cosplay Halloween costume. This takes me out of the Lord of the Rings world. Now, this guy on the right, he just looks generic. So if they can explain with a good background story of how you have black elves now, all these diverse characters that all of a sudden show up in a world that were mainly dominated by white characters, if they can do that in a plausible, believable, interesting way, then I guess it could work. If these images are supposed to get people excited and interested in the show and get them to sign up to Amazon Prime, in my opinion, it's not working. Here's just some image of Galadriel on a raft with some other guy. Don't know the actual context of the story. Then you have this guy who's supposed to be an up-and-coming elf king or whoever he's gonna become. He just looks like a random elf. Okay, great. Then you have some other elf character on the left, and then you have that black elf on the right. Again, don't know any context to this scene, but the scenery looks nice. You have this image right here. I don't know who that character is on the right. Oh, right here in the bottom right corner, there's some more characters, but they're too blurry to see. Now you have a closer look at this character, and then whoever these characters are with these moose antlers or whatever creature antlers they have, either as backpacks or they're attached to their bodies and there's some kind of weird creature. But I find this funny because this guy's face, he doesn't look too happy to be in the picture. It's just funny. They kind of look interesting. And then whoever these directors or producers are in the background. And then you have this character who, again, all these pictures so far, they just look blah. They don't look too interesting. They look generic. They needed some better, more exciting action-packed pictures or some better casting with some screen presence. Doesn't have to be a big movie star. They're just not exciting. I don't know, maybe that's the feeling I'm getting. Let me know in the comments if you get the same reaction. And this is the last image. So here's a quote in the article that got me kind of worried. Can we come up with the novel Tolkien never wrote? They want to come up with a novel that Tolkien never wrote. Maybe the type of story that you want to write. There was a very good reason why Tolkien didn't want to write it or never got a chance to write it, because it most likely is not going to be good. So the one upside to all of this is that we're finally going to get 22 new characters. Yes, they're going to depend on the old characters a little bit, hopefully not too much, but in this era of reboots, remakes, rehashing, shot-for-shot remakes, I'm actually excited and looking forward to brand new characters. Even though I don't like how they look, this is their chance to prove to the new audience and old audience, especially them, that they are capable of writing good new characters. But based on their track record of woke movies and TV shows, I don't give them a very good chance of succeeding. For example, the Star Wars sequel trilogy. There's Rey, Finn, Poe, Kylo Ren were all new characters, but they ended up not being well-written characters. Yes, at At first, when The Force Awakens came out, everybody was crying and excited, and it was the greatest movie ever made. As the trilogy progressed and over time, the excitement and the high has worn away, and the brainwashing has disappeared, and people could see that the story and the characters that were brand new were not very good. Especially when they shitted all over the old characters to try to make the new characters better. And I just hope they don't do that in this new Lord of the Rings show. But none of these writers or directors of these types of films and shows have given me any assurance that they know what they're doing. How can we trust them after they let us down so much to finally give us a product that every fan of the Lord of the Rings deserves? Now, I could be completely wrong, and this could be the greatest Lord of the Rings TV show ever made, even better than the original trilogy, or at least could be on par. But I know deep down, that's not gonna be true. So in conclusion, I give it a 1% chance that it might actually succeed. And I'm excited about the new characters, but I'm worried about how the writers are going to write their backstories and the direction they're gonna be taken in. And all the images so far were underwhelming, kind of generic, kind of boring, didn't get me excited, and didn't get me interested enough to pay money to sign up to Amazon Prime. So let me know in the comments about what you think about the images, and if you're excited for the new Lord of the Rings show. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you next video.